there, and welcome back. Another exciting video. Today got something that's actually kind of cool. I'm going to show you guys, so let's get right into it. Not something you see every day, but with the kind of year 2020 was, I can see why some people might want them. Other folks, different applications. This one is for essential oils. But it will have multiple uses. It is a Vevor pot still. It's one of the eBay varieties. Specifically a 12 liter, I believe that's 3 gallons, and stainless steel. It's got a copper coil, I believe, which we'll get into in a second. The latches on it are fairly sturdy. I've seen other ones that are much more chintzy than that, and these ones, so far, I'm impressed. The handles on the side are actually kind of nice too. I'm not sure if you can see those. They're with the extra metal on it, which makes them run a little cooler, a little more heat sink there. It comes disassembled, as you can see. You have to do the assembly yourself for some of it. But it's part of the fun, right? Okay, so this is the condenser portion. And it's got the copper coil on the inside, brass fittings on it, the standard brass valves, kind of cheap ones. You do have to make sure you tighten these up from time to time, or else it'll loosen off and then it'll strip. Very short spout on this. If I was running it, I would probably add something to it. They have put holes in the bottom of the pot for this one and put legs on it. Not sure, I've never seen that before, but we'll see how it goes. You got your 2 corrugated metal lines with the plugs on them. As you can see, they are from China. I've seen these before. The ones that I saw, they were about this quality and they've lasted for a while. You can get replacements on Amazon or eBay. Amazon is usually easier for most people. Your silicone lines, this is a spout to the actual condenser line, hooks onto here. This is an additional piece, most for this one. Use a short piece of silicone line, connect the two, and looks like it's got some destructions in there. This is the thumper or thump keg, flavor enhancer, or for this one purposes it will be to do essential oil extractions. So you can put your plant matter in here, whether pine needles or spruce needles or basil or rosemary or whatever it is, and you put the silicone seal around the edge there. And then when the vapor passes through here, it takes the oils along with it down to the condenser and you capture them at the end. So that's that. This one here is the pump. I haven't used a pump with any of these kind of things. Well, that's not true. I have in a closed loop system. I found that I prefer using a fresh water in, hot water out kind of a thing. And if you have that as an option, that is the way I would suggest to use them. The pot itself is nice. Actually, it's thicker than most, and the bottom is a little thicker than most too. Maybe not as thick as they claim online, but still thick enough to help prevent scorching and burning and whatnot. That is that portion of it. And then let's open this back up again. Some of these guys like to tell you that you can if you're doing like beer making, wort for beer and whatnot, you can brew right in here, and this is an air vapor lock that stops any air from going in and only allows the CO2 to go out. I don't know too many people who actually use this for that, so won't really be speaking too much about that. Okay, so here's your silicone lines. These would be your feeder lines, so if they were here, they would be on here and here. One would go to your pump, obviously, and the other one would go to the reservoir that the pump sits in, because this is a submersible pump, so you wouldn't require it that way. And done that, we'll get that out of the way. This is your thermometer. One of their big claims to fame on eBay is that their thermometer is better because it gives you more points, readable points on it, as opposed to just a chintzy barbecue one type deal. So yeah, gives you a little more accuracy if that's what you're looking for. And there are two holes on here. They're different sizes, so you have a larger one and a smaller one. I'm guessing the smaller one is for here, and so washers. There's the thin one. So you use a thin one for there, and whatchamacallit, help stop any vapors, water vapor, from leaving the system. Now the washer that goes on the inside is big enough so that the indent on the other one can go inside of it. And then you have your nut, and if this is undone properly, you should have some threads left over on the other side to tighten everything up. Now that's just quick and dirty. I'm sure there's other ways to do it. That's just the way I'm going to do it for this particular video. These ones, you have your hex nut on the bottom here, and I think for most people you would only operate this, leave this on when you're using it, because it does kind of look a little obtrusive, a little clunky. It's liable to catch on something unless you're setting it up in a position where that's not a problem for you. Then you could leave it on, but I think if you're storing it under the bed or whatever, then you're not going to want to do that. So we have that, and we have this. And again, quick and dirty, just way to set it up. Then you would have your other seal. For the top one is actually in the lid on this one. It's not like some of the other models where you have this version. It is actually right in there. These you can buy them on Amazon. They come for crock pots and some deep fryers and whatnot. If you're looking for replacements, all you need to know is how wide it is across the diameter, and then you can pick one up for there. This one has it in there. That one goes on there. Your thump keg version, and I'm not going to do it all the way around because it's tricky and takes quite a while to do it the first time. But once the seal is opened up, the gasket is opened up all the way around, then you slide it onto your lip and just kind of follow it all the way around. And if you're semi-lucky, semi-skilled, it should fit right on there. Like I said, that's why I wasn't going to do it. It takes a while. But anyway, that's on there, and then this lid is chintzy. That is very thin steel right there, so that's a strike against it, in my opinion. And then I believe they have you set it up so it sits up on top, if that's the way you want to run it. You don't necessarily have to. You can have it other places and stack them up and whatnot. So we would take these out. And these blue ends come out. Yeah. Watch your silicone washers when they come out. They are sitting inside of there and they will pop off. So you can again buy those off of Amazon, eBay and whatnot. They are important. They do last quite a while, but if you need them, it's always nice to have some backups and spares and whatnot in place. So like I said before, I'm not really hooking this up. I'm just kind of demonstrating a little bit of how it could go. They drop everything all over the floor. Now, your one line is going to connect into this. Okay, so this is what it looks like set up if you have everything on top of it. This is your condenser section with your fresh water or warm water, cold water, in out kind of a deal. Depending on your setup, you can reverse these. If it's on a freshwater system, I quite often have it come in the top and go out the bottom. That is specifically because this top one, when it is a siphon to drain, it makes a sucking sound that is just annoying. So the other way around. I was mistaken about the short piece of copper pipe that comes with this that I initially thought went here. It is actually for the thumper keg, so that this one has it come down into the pot so it goes underneath any liquid that builds up in here to act as a second condenser. What I found right off the bat is that it is very, very soft, so putting pliers on it, you're going to squish it. It's not as high quality as most I've dealt with. But the other thing is even when it's in there all the way, it is still just a smidge too long and butts up at the bottom of the pot. So once you do your measurements and checking that, you may have to shorten this with a pipe cutter, or you can even use a set of utility pliers and just squeeze lightly and turn until you go all the way around a bunch of times. But you will need to do that if you want to put that into there. The other way, like I said, is that you attach the short piece here and then the other one goes on there, and you put it so that the copper pipes are just about touching so that you don't have a great big knuckle there, and that allows you to give some flexibility to where you want to put your whatever's coming out the bottom end of this thing. So yeah, the other thing you can do is you can just omit this section altogether if you do not have a need to add flavorings, or you're not doing an essential oil extraction. Say you're just trying to distill water. If you're out in a situation where you need hurricane situation or whatever and you need to make your own fresh water, whatever the situation may be, it can arise. And you will, again, I'm not doing it here, but you have to have a silicone washer in every one of those, and make sure they are just a little tighter than finger tight. So you don't want to overdo it and strip them and whatnot, but you want to have it so that it's in place and you've got a good connection so you don't have any steam escape. When you're moving these, use two hands. Don't just grab one hand with a big space in the middle and bend it, because you can run the risk of cracking these, and then you do have to replace them. I told you that's not a problem. You can get them off Amazon, but if you don't have to, don't need to, right? So there, that is the alternative version, is where you just skip the thump keg altogether and just run it with the condenser and the pot. that is about everything I can tell you about this. As far as a still goes, I'm impressed for the price of it. It arrived very fast. It's not, for the most part, made of chintzy materials. The ones that matter are actually solid. The thump keg lid doesn't really matter. It's thin, so that's okay. Unlike a lot of them, it gives you this riser here, copper riser, which kind of mimics a reflex kind of a still a little bit, so it has to go up and fall back down again until the temperature builds up and it can go all the way through. So it's copper, which helps remove some of the sulfates and that out of some things if that's what you're doing, and it also acts as an extra cooling as well. So you have two. If you have it with the thump keg on it, you have three, so your pot still becomes more efficient with the 3 than it does with just the 1 if this was connected straight to here, or the 2 as it's shown here. So yeah, I give it 2 thumbs up, and if you have any questions, comments, that kind of thing, experience, let me know. Please hit that like and subscribe button if it helped you out, and until next time, take her easy.